What's up guys, this is Miasin. So for the past couple of months actually, I've been no-lifing the Phantom Nightmare format. A lot of Fire Kings actually that I've been playing, and a lot of Snake Eyes, and a lot of just the newer decks in general, like Voiceless Voice, etc. And I've realized that a lot of players are playing Fire King a completely different way from what I initially anticipated. And they're also developing like a combo that plays around Nibiru in a rather interesting way that I didn't initially think about. I don't know if I really agree with it because it has like very clear and obvious flaws, and I plan on tackling all that in today's video, and also kind of give like a solution to make the combo that people are going into a little better and a little more resilient to hand traps and board breakers overall. Anyways, before this video starts, I would really appreciate you guys if you could smash the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. And now let's get right into, I guess, combo number 1 in a way. So right now I'll be showcasing the combo that people are going into if it goes uninterrupted, obviously, because the Snake Eye Ash combo is a 1-card combo that can already play through Drone and Logbird, or Nibiru, depending on how well. I mean, Droll and Nib, but not both at the same time. There we go. We understand each other. But yeah, so you always go into the Snake Eye monsters first, like Ash into Populous, and then into Oak. And then summon number 5 is going to be Flamberge. You could also go into a Link Karibo early, but that doesn't really change anything. But yeah, anyways, Flamberge is going to now place the Populous or the Oak in the Spell and Trap Zone. And this is where it gets rather interesting. People are going into Sunlight Wolf and then revive back 2 fire monsters with the Flamberge, and then Sunlight Wolf recycle back the Flamberge. And then they go into a Link Karibo, and then into a Heat Soul to draw 1 card. And then they go into an Appaloosa, so that when they go into their Fire King engine, they're protected from hand traps. I think this is a little sus, because at this point, like, if you have like Sunlight Wolf and 2 level 1 fire monsters, your opponent is already Nibiruing you. So it's not really like you can say that the Appaloosa really makes you play around Nibiru. If you get to the point where you can summon Appaloosa, you already know for a fact that your opponent doesn't have the card. So this isn't playing around anything when you really think about it. And I really disagree with it. And the issue that I have with Appaloosa is that it actually sucks in a triple tactic talent format, which we are in right now. And honestly, if people are playing like any monster stealing cards, like even Change of Heart, Mind Control, you can get heavily punished for summoning Appaloosa. And again, I really disagree with this line of play. Anyways, at this point, the rest of the combo is super standard. So obviously summon the Ponyx and then get the Sanctuary into Island. And then they go Surge Garunix and then Destroy. And then they chain a Link Karibo, which obviously will happen in a second. You can do it like at any point before that or at this moment, because when you're destroying the Arvata, you need to make sure that you got a Fire Beast or Beast Warrior Wing Beast in your graveyard. There is that, and there's another really interesting monster that you can summon that I will cover very soon. Anyways, then at this point, they use their 3 monsters into a Princess, and then revive back the Arvata, and then end on an Amblo Whale and a Appaloosa. It can be argued that this is a decent combo because you do draw 1 card at the end of the day with the Heat Soul, and you also got the Heat Soul in the grave, so that when the Amblo Whale dies, you get to revive back the Heat Soul, which is obviously one of the good cards that you can summon back, and then you get to draw 1 card again. So if you're playing a lot of hand traps, this combo could make sense, but only really because of Heat Soul. If you're not playing Heat Soul, all of this makes no sense. Like, if you're making a 3-material Appaloosa, you should really reconsider, because again, the more, I guess the more attack Appaloosa has, like the more counters in a way, the worse it is, because again, it means that when it gets stolen by the opponent, your opponent can negate your cards over and over again, and that's the reason why the best Appaloosa, this format, is the 2-material Appaloosa, the 1600 attack one, so that you use 1 negate on your, you start, your first monster effect is the Appaloosa negate, and then your opponent takes your Appaloosa, and then you can only negate 1 of your effects. It's still something, but at least the triple tactic talents isn't stealing a monster that can negate 3 of your cards. That would have been ridiculous. But yeah, that's it for this one. I really wanted to showcase how much I disagree with this, obviously for multiple reasons. First of all, Appaloosa sucks. And second, this gives you the illusion that you're playing around hand traps when in reality you're just not. And again, the only thing you're doing is getting Heat Soul access and drawing, I guess, 2 cards. Which isn't all too bad, but this end board isn't too fantastic, and it also adds a huge weakness in your strategy, which I will cover right now. Alright, so everybody knows that Snake Eye Ash again can play around Droll and Logbird, or rather play through, because when you do get drolled, what really happens basically is that you're still playing a pure Snake Eyes deck. You're still going into the Flamberge target the IP Masquerade on the graveyard, and then you still end in like a Princess in the graveyard, so that you can make 3 interruptions on your opponent's turn, right? You go Flamberge, summon back the IP from the Spell and Trap Zone, and then link off into SP, banish a card, and then you also have the Farfa effect. And the Amblo Whale can be an interruption again, like if your opponent runs over your SP, you can banish it from the graveyard and then destroy an opponent's card. And you have the Princess that can destroy an opponent's monster. So that's 3 to 4 interruptions with 1 single card through Droll and Logbird, which obviously is a lot, but if you are just repeating the exact same combo as everyone else is doing, you are making yourself susceptible to a Duel and Logbird that can hurt you even more, actually. So again, the beginning of the combo is the exact same. It's always going to be the same thing, unless you choose to make a Link Rebo early, which I guess you can do, because if you're scared of like your Oak getting Veilered or Impermed, then at least you can chain the Link Rebo in the graveyard. It doesn't change all that much, because at the end of the day, if you're getting hand-trapped way too early, after you got your original Sinful Spell Snake Eye, you can still go into your Fire King combo, and that already just does so much, right? It gets you so many bodies, and also when you get your Princess access, you get to revive back the Arvata, so it's not like you can say that you're lacking interruptions or anything. But yeah, Sunlight Wolf recycled back, and we didn't get drilled here yet because, again, it's so obvious that you're trying to make 3 to 4 interruptions when you get drilled early, so if your opponent is trying to hold a Duel and Logbird, it could also hurt you really hard, because you're committing to all this board, and you think that your opponent might not have Droll but might have something else. So what's going to happen is that you're going to just, again, do the exact same combo as if you didn't get a headshot. And then when you go for the Heat Soul draw, then you get Drolled, and then your Fire King engine is completely useless. And also you went into just so many weird monsters first that you can't do the IP into SP with the Flamberge play. So you're just ending on way less, and it just doesn't feel as good. And if your Heat Soul doesn't draw any real cards, you're going to be in a really bad position, because you got a useless Flamberge in your hand, and again, your draws might be bad, which obviously would not be in your advantage. You do not have Princess in graveyard, and you don't really want to go into an Ablo Whale. The best thing that you can do really here, it would be IP just with the Heat Soul and pass turn, or you could go Appaloosa with a Link Rebo, which I really don't think is good, and you also do not want to go for a 3 material Appaloosa. So if you can go for a Heat Soul for free, and then make a 2-mat Appaloosa, obviously that's good. But then you start losing to Droll being used in this very precise situation. So I don't really think this combo is safe at all. But again, unfortunately, well, I mean, rather fortunately, there is a solution that I will show right now. Alright, so the safest way to play through, Droll and Nibiru at the same time, so by respecting just about every hand shop, and by making an actual real strong board that is really difficult to break, would be by playing a very interesting card in the extra deck that I covered relatively recently. So obviously, the very beginning of the combo, again, is the same thing. There's really just no reason to do anything crafty. Unless you already have, like, a Bonfire in your hand, sometimes your Snake Eye Ash wants to add the Ponyx. That's especially relevant going second, because then you can start, like, crashing your monsters, special summon the Ponyx, etc. Or your opponent goes, like, negate and destroy one of your cards, and then you can summon the Ponyx. Up until now, everything is the same, but the next step is going to be different. We're not going to be going into a Link Rebo. We are rather going to be, well, obviously Flamberge recycled back off of the Sunlight Wolf. But then we can link off our 2 fire monsters for Doolittle Chimera. I've already shown some combos with this card. It's a good card for sure. Both of it, I mean, the fact that it boosts the attack and defensive monsters is not relevant. The fact that you can recycle back a fire monster from your graveyard when it gets destroyed by battle by card effect, including your own card effect, can be very nice. But one other really nice thing about this card is that it is a fire beast monster that you can revive back off of Arvada. So it creates a brand new combo in a way. But yeah, at this point you can go for the Appaloosa if you're really scared of like Nibiru, but we already checked the Droll and Logbird by playing correctly, by not going into the Heat Soul, and again, if we get Drolled, you already know what you're doing. At this point, you summon the Ponyx and then get your search for the Sanctuary, and Droll and Logbird obviously doesn't do anything whatsoever. Sanctuary into Island, destroy the Flamberge in your hand very specifically, and then give yourself the Garunix, which can destroy the Arvada, and then revive back the Doolittle Chimera. So instead of having to link 3 monsters into a Promethean Princess, we can link off the Chimera and the Garunix for the Princess, revive back the Arvada, and then go for an Ambler Whale, and to play around Super Poly, you can link it off into a Zealantis. So if you have a fire monster in your hand, the Arvada is still live, and then you got yourself the Zealantis that can protect the Appaloosa, so that when your opponent tries to jump over your stuff, you can just go battle phase, destroy 2 cards without targeting. That's pretty nice. And obviously Appaloosa is a negate. So this is like the best way. People might prey on you if you are doing the exact same combo as everyone else. So that's the reason why this combo might just be safer. And I believe that the player who came up with the Doolittle Chimera tech is Nesh. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might also be Lucas Sacco, so I'm not 100% sure, but whatever. Shoutouts to both. Both are MVPs, both are absolute legends. And yeah, no, it's a very nice combo. I think this is like the more correct way to play the deck. But even then, there's no strict like linear combos in Fire King, because your combo always depends on what else is in your hand. Like if you got like Snake Eye Ash and a fire monster, like it could be like an Arvada or Kirin, your combo is completely different. Or if you got like Snake Eye Ash and Flamberge, your combo is also different. Or I don't know, the Bellstar and Flamberge, you're not necessarily always going to be repeating the exact same sequence over and over again, This is not like Sword Soul that is a really linear mid-range deck. This is a combo deck where just about all of your hands are going to be just a completely different line of play. And you really have to have a lot of experience with this deck in order to just look at a hand and immediately identify what is the best optimal strategy that you can take in order to mitigate the impact of hand traps and just make a really strong board that also mitigates the impact of board breakers like Soul Release, what else? I mean, Super Poly and Triple Tactic Talons. Those three are the really big ones. And Cosmic Cyclone on a field spell, because right now we could get hit by a Cosmic Cyclone and we would be losing Aplusa and Zelantis. I guess the Arvada can float, and then you can also trigger the Garunic, so it's not too bad. And you can revive back the Arvada when you destroy the Kirin, but then at this point you're losing the Kirin pop and you're losing way too much, so it still hurts like crazy. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about how you think people are playing Fire King at the moment. Do you think they're misplaying by doing the exact same combo as everyone else? Do you think it's a little too brain dead? You guys let me know what you think is the optimal strategy, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.